It's one of the most famous trails in the world.
Today I am just getting started with the Inca Trail.
Due to overwhelming popularity, the Peruvian government has had to implement strict rules and quotas for the trail, and making this adventure happen can cost a fortune. But there is still a way to experience this epic bucket list item all by yourself. The Chapacñan, or Royal Route, was a series of roadways used by the Inca to move large armies across the Andes. At its peak, the road system covered nearly 30,000 kilometers. After the Inca were conquered by the Spanish, the Camino Inca was either destroyed, absorbed into modern roadways, or simply fell into disrepair. Over the last century, the road has been rediscovered and repurposed for tourism. The most famous stretch is the 24 miles from the Sacred Valley to Machu Picchu. Since 2001, this section has been strictly regulated by the Peruvian government, and walking it requires permits and a guide. However, if you travel 3,000 miles north into Ecuador, there is still a 24-mile stretch of the Inca Trail that travels across the Paramo to the ruins of Ingapirca. The route starts from a remote Andean village known as Achupallas. Right out of Achupallas, the Inca Trail takes you up, high into the Andes.
Today I am just getting started with the Inca Trail. You may know the Inca Trail being the one that goes to Machu Picchu in Peru, but I'm actually in Ecuador. This particular trail is about 24 miles and ends at Ingapirca. Alright, I'll just give you a quick update. The trail so far has been really easy to follow. I guess one thing I didn't realize, the GPS file I'm following actually didn't start at the same place I started, so there was a lot more climbing at the beginning than I was expecting. But now it's mostly flattened out. That doesn't mean it's easy though. I'm still up at like 12,000 feet, headed to 14,000. Just made it to the top of the trail. I'm at a staggering 14,500 feet. Oh my goodness, the air up here is so thin. Luckily, mostly downhill from here. A little bit more climbing tomorrow, but the hard part of today is over. Since I made it past the Tres Cruces Pass today, I feel like I'm in a good enough place where I can finish the whole thing tomorrow. Even though this is usually done as a 3-day trip. All in all, it was a good day. Definitely a hard day. Tomorrow should be easier. Just getting started walking for today. Like I mentioned last night, I think I should make it all the way to Ingapirca today. Got a little bit of climbing to do this morning, but at least the weather is really nice. I've just made it to the Paradones ruins. So this was used by the Inca as a hotel back in the old days. It's amazing how good the construction is that there's still so much of it left. The roofs are gone obviously, but the walls are still pretty intact. I'm now walking on pretty much all that remains of the original Incan highway. This used to be an epic feat of engineering that stretched all the way from Cusco to Quito. Since it hasn't really been used in the last few hundred years, it has definitely fallen into disrepair. The last few miles of the trail are on a dirt road, so not very interesting. But we got a few miles and then we'll get to see Ingapirca. I finally made it to the terminus of the Inca Trail, Ingapirca. Now I'm just going to explore the historical complex and I guess wait to find a ride back to Alausi. See ya!